Welcome in to episode 2 of our Let's Play Humankind series, which I have referred to and are titling Commonly Uncommon. We are focusing a strategy around the Commons Quarter in Humankind. We haven't gotten to do any of that quite yet, but at the very beginning of this episode, we are going to make our move up into the Ancient Era. We are going to choose our first culture in our Commonly Uncommon strategy, and we will be on our way in the game. We'll get our capital city formulated and all of those things. In the previous episode, there will be a link to that episode, episode 1 of the series, down in the description below, if you would like to find out how we got to where we are right now. We're on turn 18 in the Neolithic era, and I love the Neolithic era in Humankind. It is arguably my favorite part of the game. Anything early game, typically in a 4X strategy game, I enjoy. The Neolithic era, I think, for me, is the best way it's done. I think it really, especially with the changes, just encapsulates everything that I would want in kind of the very first kind of phase of a Humankind or a 4X strategy game. So I love it. I'm sad to be moving away from it, but also, obviously, I don't just want to sit in the Neolithic forever. The whole point of it is to set yourself up for an appropriate move up into the Ancient Era. So that is what we'll be rolling into today. Let's jump into the gameplay, and we'll find out where we're headed in the Ancient Era. Here we are in our not-so-capital city of Kakab. This is our first outpost that we have down. It is set on a lovely river. In fact, you can see it is completely surrounded, in fact, by river. But what you will notice is there are no trees. And in fact, if we zoom out, the surrounding area is largely barren stone fields that have very little useful things within them. Except we do have some really nice resources in our land. We even desert located in our current position. But if we jump down here, we start to see some really nice forests that we can probably grab some production out of. And if we jump over here, we start to see some grasslands. And then if we go further over in our continent, we have a lovely patch of rivers. But again, there's still some barren land in here. So very diverse territory, relatively easy to traverse. We did set that up in the map settings. And again, if you're looking to follow along or maybe even play this same game, this same map, in episode 1, all of the map settings and everything are there, so you should be able to get the world seed and all of that stuff. And if you want to play this map, you can on Humankind difficulty. So, beautiful land here, easily traversable for the most part. And then we did, in fact, meet our neighbors up here. I don't remember where. Plosif's unit is somewhere in this vicinity, near this large patch of desert, which is actually, I believe, the Sahara Desert. Got named. It was big enough to be named, so we have the Sahara right above us here, and you can see, like, there's camels there. This game, like, I will continue to push for it. I've been told that there's not a like mod yet that will allow you to zoom in, that doesn't involve, like, seriously changing some game files and things like that. I would love a mod where I could zoom in just even a little bit more. Would be amazing. Like, I just want to see some of these details. Like, look at all these camels running around in the desert. I absolutely love that. I love the little details in this game. I think it's so beautiful. And we've got, like, down here in the grasslands, we've got an elephant running around. Amazing. So good. It all makes sense with, like, the terrain types and things like that. I really enjoy those little pieces of the game. So, very cool. So I know Plosif has a unit up here. Plosif is the Sumerians and has already demilitarized this zone right here. I think that's fine. I actually don't. This particular territory, lake is kind of nice, but it actually doesn't look like it has any resources in it, and so I'm not keen on that territory for my empire, at least not initially. We've got quite a bit to claim right off the get-go, and if you look at where we got this territory here with the Sahara Desert, I am interested in, because we've got a strategic, and we have a papyrus. We have a luxury resource, so we may want to set our border based off of stuff like that, right? This territory claim. This one is a little far up, but then we've already got several of the resources here. We don't have this copper, but we have copper elsewhere, and I'm not sure how, like, important that is. We could always just trade for it. The luxuries, however, we'd love to have access to, so we could just have them to get the game rolling. So we've got a couple important claims in. We have a decision to make. I've already made the decision, but I'll walk you through my process a little bit here. We are at turn 18. Everyone else, I believe, at least I think, has moved up at this point. And we are sitting on 131 influence because we've been able to fight mammoths pretty extensively throughout the game. Now, we have a couple of decision points to make. We could, and this actually would be a thought, right? There's a territory right here that's quite a ways away, like 2 connection points away from our existing claim over here, which could set up for a really nice kind of city way over here. When are we going to use that is my main question. I'm not sure. I think that we have 120 influence. We could go one more turn in the Neolithic and put an outpost down. We could get right to here on this river and put an outpost down, move it a little bit if we need to. I mean, it looks like it's really nice looking land potentially in here, especially through here. So it looks really beautiful. We could put a claim in on that, spend the 120 influence to get that claim in. And then we would have potentially a city placement there where we could, get cheaper claims around that after we get the city in. We also have 1 and I believe a second. We have 2 science curiosities we could collect on the next turn. So we would essentially be staying in the Neolithic 1 extra turn to collect 2 science curiosities. And also we would leave the sanctuary because we want that to stay so we can burn it down for gold on the first turn of the next era. But we could also get our claim in, right? So we could get an extra claim. We'd have 4 territories, which is pretty unheard of coming out of the Neolithic. Even after 18 turns, I feel like that's doing pretty well. But that would leave us with no influence heading into the next era. And what we want to do for sure, right, is start to claim up some of these really potent resources, and we want some extra influence to be able to buy them in with influence as well, because it's much cheaper to do that in the long run than it is to try to build all of the extractors. So I am going to move up, despite the fact that I could and would really love to put in an extra claim up here just to get ourselves set up and started on that side of the continent. My other major question is, we've only met 1 person. And so the likelihood of there being another civilization, another culture out here somewhere is probable. And so I don't want to push that border if we are going to need to kind of form up within our own kind of territory. Because we already have a northern neighbor, and we know the map ends here. And that means there's not probably a ton of room, although we haven't explored extensively, but there's not a lot of room possibly for growth, which means we might end up in kind of contention there, which is fine. But maybe not push there. So we are going to go ahead and move up first thing here before we even end turn and take a look at what's available. Remember, everything is available to us because we have, we're utilizing the new exclusive cultures off feature that Humankind, that Amplitude put into the game with the last update, which is pretty cool. I really enjoy the option to do that. I wouldn't play a normal game of Humankind that way, but because we're trying to show off a particular strat around commons quarters, I didn't want to lose critical cultures that were necessary to make that strat a reality. So there is actually only 1 commons quarter-based culture in the ancient era. So we only have 1 choice. There are obviously a lot of great cultures here. And if you want to hear my thoughts on all these cultures, jump back into my previous Let's Play series. I have, every time I move up, typically in my Let's Play series, particularly in the Humankind one, the one that's at Humankind difficulty, I go over each of the cultures, and so you can check out my thoughts on each of them from that. We will be picking the Assyrians. And that is a fascinating choice because they are the only ones who have the commons quarter. It is a garrison commons quarter, so it doesn't really get away from the whole, like, garrisons are better than commons quarters idea. At least we're not getting away from that yet. So we're going to go with the Danu and the Assyrians. That also gets us access to Assyrian raiders, which are a pretty good option early in the game here for some pillaging, which might be something that we want to do. We also have, they have cavalry, the bonus, the close combat unit that ignores enemy zones of control. They're good at running down ranged units, unable to climb fortifications, right? So we have basically, we have the ability to maneuver around the map pretty nicely with these Assyrian raiders. We need 4 horses to be able to get them. So we're going to have to maneuver our way possibly in that direction. And then also, why would we want to do that? Well, because we're going to be putting down garrisons that gets +2 combat strength and also count as a commons quarter. So we're going to want to get these in. But also, we get +1 land movement speed on unit, which is going to be very nice. This is our trait, right? This is our trait. And so this stays with us the whole time. +1 land movement speed on unit is pretty decent, to be honest. That's going to get us around the map very quickly. And then we also get +5 combat strength when ransacking. So we want to get into enemy territory and initiate ransacks and then hope that they attack us. That's kind of the goal, right? To initiate that +5 combat strength when we're ransacking. And we also get 100% gains on army. And if we've got the Assyrian raiders in there, we're going to get a 10% bonus to money when ransacking as well. So there's a lot of opportunity to do a little bit of pillaging when we're going around in this particular era as the Assyrians. So this is the choice. Again, there are no other commons quarters based people. There's no cultures that have a commons quarter. So we're going to go with the Assyrians, and we might get a rating on potentially. We have Plosif to our north. He's currently playing the Sumerians that are a diplomatic culture. We might have some advantages there where we could take advantage and maybe pillage a little bit. Get some of our early war to get some military kills possibly. So we'll probably be building towards that, but we'll see how it unfolds as we go through the era. So let's adopt them, and we will move into the ancient era.
The challenges of a young civilization. It's hard keeping up with the neighbors when they have the wheel and you don't. Humankind learns quickly that everyone contributes. If you're terrified of wild animals, you can grow lentils or catch fish. Tribes settle towns. Towns develop markets, and markets begin the exchange of goods, services, and most important, rumors and hearsay. So now, we advance as the warlike Assyrians. You're not going to be a very nice neighbor, are you?
Maybe not. Maybe not. We also get access to the expansionist ability, and our expansionist stars are better than they would otherwise be. They're worth more, right? So those are always things to think about as you are going. We just got a curiosity automatically. Does that mean a curiosity spawned on top of one of our units? We have an agrarian star already. We can form our city, which we definitely want to do right off the bat. I'm really interested about this. Yeah, fascinating. So a curiosity, remember, curiosities change over at the era change, right? All of the curiosities that are on the map will disappear. They only stay there for whoever's in that era. And then in the new era, there are new curiosities that have already spawned based on the fact that there are people in that era, because there are, right? And so it looks like what happened is our unit was actually standing on top of one of those curiosities that had spawned in. So we automatically grabbed 40 gold, which is super handy, particularly because we are losing 13 gold per turn because we have so many people in our armies right now. So that's kind of cool. I've never seen that happen before, so very interesting. Okay, let's jump over, and first things first, this is nice. We got curiosities actually right next to multiple of our units, so that's looking pretty cool. I don't mind that at all. Curiosities are one of the things that can really start to roll. Wow, there's two more over here too. Curiosities are one of the things that can really start to roll your game in a positive direction as you get going very quickly. So we definitely want to take advantage of getting as many of those as we can. We also want to get some boats in the water. The ancient era doesn't have a lot of ocean-based curiosities, but we want to be prepped for the classical and future eras where there are a lot of naval-based curiosities. Okay. We actually have no choice right now because we have 2 turns left on this outpost. We have 3 turns left on this outpost. So our first city will indeed go down here at Kakab. So we will click here, and we could put our Danu in first because we have access to it right away. That is exciting. That's actually a big deal. So because we have instant access to the Danu and we don't have to research it, and this is something that actually sets cultures apart, particularly in the, specifically actually in the ancient era, is there are some cultures that do not have to research their building. It's not part of the research chain, and in fact, I think it's actually quite a few of them. But we can actually buy in our Danu with influence. Since when has this been a thing? This is actually new. I'm trying to figure out, can certain emblematics now be bought with influence? Did I miss that in the update? I know you could always build harbors. Harbors were always purchasable by influence, which in my personal opinion, has made harbor-based cultures OP and arguably some of the best cultures in the game because of that. We did a whole video and series on the harbor strat, which is insane. If you want to check it out, it's also on in the YouTube. This is new to me, seeing that I can put a Danu in. So I'll have to check on that. Let me know in the comments if that was something that they changed recently, that you could now put in. Maybe it's just garrisons. Maybe it's garrisons that you're allowed to do this with now for some reason. But you can buy this in with influence, so of course we're going to. Now, it doesn't exploit anything, so I'm actually I want to put it in the desert, I think. I just want to stick it, like, down here somewhere. It's not advantageous from, like, a defending or attacking standpoint, but I think I'm just gonna... Oh, wait, but it is a commons quarter, so we want the ability to possibly surround it with other quarters, so we don't need to put it completely out of the way, right? Because we actually want other districts around this district, so we don't need to put it completely out of the way. So maybe we put it like here, so that we're at least within kind of shouting distance of our city, so that we could build out and have some quarters around it. But because it's a commons quarter, right, we want to build districts around it to take advantage of the stability that we would gain from it being a commons quarter, right? And this is my problem with commons quarters, is because they don't exploit anything, and they only have stability bonuses for being adjacent to other districts. Like, I'm not naturally inclined to want to build them, because you want to put them in a good spot where they can get surrounded, but they also don't do anything for you until you surround them. And they only give you stability. They're not exploiting the resources. There's food down here. We can't build off the Danu anyway. This is going to be like a hamlet location where we could, like, get a hamlet down in this territory and then get access to some of this food down here. I'm going to put it here, and we'll figure out kind of what we're doing with districts later on. So let's buy this in.
In constructing an emblematic
Look at
quarter,
that, right away.
you have become a builder and a creator. There is more to creating an empire than just yelling orders.
Also, it looks cool. It looks cool right there on the cliff. Like, aesthetically, it's very pleasing. And if you know me, I do enjoy a good aesthetically pleasing spot. Okay, we can't get this unless, let's check really quick. If for some reason we could free research, yeah, we can't free research calendar. In fact, I don't think it used to carry over some of your science so that you could, like, get a quick research out. I don't think it really does that anymore, because, like, we've got 17 turns on this, which is a lot more than what I'm used to seeing. Probably because it used to carry over some of your science into this, and it just doesn't do that anymore. It never does it from era to era, but from the Neolithic, it used to carry over some of your science that you would collect it, I believe. But I don't think that's the case anymore. So we're not going to have access to calendar. We're going to choose calendar, by the way. Domestication is tempting because it gets us our Assyrian raiders very quickly and access to horses. So we will probably be doing this one sooner rather than later. But I do want to get calendar first because we want access to the artisans' quarters. The granary is also very potent. So we'll select calendar to start with. Probably move into domestication and then maybe carpentry for the archers, because I think what we're going to want is to get some raiders, but then we're going to need some people who can, like, climb over walls and stuff like that, possibly. So we might want some archers to support those guys. So we'll probably put together some combination of an army using these as our base. And then we'll probably move towards, something like writing, which is going to get our science up. Wheel is obviously important for some envoys. And then obviously we want access to warriors too. So there's a lot of really good text at the beginning. Calendar is almost always going to be your go-to first one. So we'll jump into that. And then let's go ahead and put down our city.
A city means shelter for those who need it. A place to store food.
Our first
Pens
city
for the pigs. It may not be glorious, but it beats sleeping under trees.
Does indeed. And I believe, since we've got 13 food in excess, and we're growing, we're going to go ahead and sit on that. We could disband, and in fact, I probably want to disband a unit into this right away. So I think we're going to do that. I'm going to grab, I think these guys haven't done any fighting. Let's check really quick. That guy's at 8. This guy's at 0. So it's this unit right here. We're going to detach him, and we'll move him into this territory. Again, I like to disband units that don't have any, veterancy. So this guy's not been in any fights yet. So we'll disband him into our city. This is going to cause some food possible issues, but I like to disband at least one. So by disbanding, we're adding population into our city, right? So we'll disband him into our city. We now have 2 pop in Ashur, and that actually increases our science, right? Because our population is increasing our science number as well. And now we have it split here between our food and industry. I actually prefer going that route, 1 into food, 1 into industry to kick things off. So we get a little bit into it. We could build a little bit faster in that regard. Although, let's see, how much faster can we grow? Yeah, so it's still 2 turns, even if we put that there. So I think we go with that. When we grow, we'll make sure that person that goes into food, right? So we actually want to go to an expert policy. I want to go science over gold, and then we'll split into industry. We'll split that right there as we get rolling with that. And then I think before we jump into our farmer's quarter, which we're almost always going to open with a farmer's quarter here, before we jump into that, although we have terrible land for a farmer's quarter, but we're probably going to put one down anyway, just to get access to the bonuses of food and extra farmers. We need an extra farmer to keep the city growing. We're going to put in the pottery workshop first. That's almost always going to be my first build. So we'll get our pottery workshop in, then we'll probably go into a farmer's quarter. And by that time, we should hopefully have access to our granary and our artisanal quarters. And so we'll be able to start putting those down as well. We won't be needing to build any scouts, but we will want to get horses online as well. Our horses sit in this territory here, and I believe that's our only horses. Let's do a quick double check. It is. So that may be the direction we go immediately next. So we might want to bring a unit down here to get a claim in this territory, probably down in here somewhere where we get a lot of food as well, because we want to get access to some food to support our city. So there's not a lot of food. Again, this is kind of plains and grasslands and some desolate land over here. So something up in this area, maybe even here or here. Actually, here is probably one of our best bets because it gets access to this 3-2 right away. Plus, we have a spot for a quarter here, maybe a market quarter or something like that. So there's some options here. So I think we're probably putting our outpost right here. Again, we have lots of production in our capital city already. And so if we attach this, we can get that done relatively quickly. We also want to get this attached because it has coffee and different things that we can take advantage of, or at least we want to get it claimed, right? So we want to start thinking about the claims that we want to make. So I think it's, this guy probably needs to go and do a little bit of exploration north. So this group is probably going to be my group that's going to stick down here and maybe get some claims in. So let's go ahead. That's 10 science and 8 influence. So that is very lovely. Oh, and you know what we should have done? I bet. Oh, hold on. If this research ends up happening because we pick this up right here, if it's a science curiosity, we're gonna kick ourselves. We're gonna kick ourselves just a smidge because we may have been able to get calendar researched and actually have bought in this gold in it like right away. So we might be kicking ourselves about the order that we did stuff in.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it wasn't... Okay, so far, so good. And then I think we're going to split these guys up. So I'm going to grab these 2 guys, and we'll transfer them out and send them down here. They'll do the burn on the sanctuary to get us some extra money. Be 43 gold, which will be nice. We're losing 9 per turn, so we want to keep our money rolling in other ways. And then these guys will continue up here to do more exploration. If this one's science and it researches this, though... Okay, another... So far, I mean, I prefer it to be science, to be honest, because the science and the influence on those are way better than the gold at this point, but we'll take that because it's making me feel better about my decisions. Here are some horses. Yeah, it's going to look real nice up here, I think. Oh, there's some more desolate land, though, so man, this continent is fascinating so far. Here's our group of 3. We got to start looking for free peoples as well. Free peoples are going to start spawning at any time now. This land looks real nice. Jump on river. There's another curiosity. Yeah, claiming. Oh, wait. What's the shiny right there? Might be a wonder or something there. I'm not sure. All right, so we're moving our units around. What's this? What unit was going somewhere? I don't really want units to go somewhere anymore. We want to control them ourselves. Let's grab this. Cool.
Off we go.
There we go. Uh-oh. We're getting real close. Getting real close to grabbing that. All right, this one guy, I think the next thing we want him to do is go here. I wonder if we can go around this way, though. Find out what's going on over there. But we can explore both directions, though. We have a unit over here. We do. So we can kind of get up there with a unit. I think we're going to go the fastest route that we know. We'll just have them head towards that curiosity. And then this guy can be the one who puts a claim in here at some point. So I think what we want to do with him, maybe we pop over here just to see this in case there was a curiosity there. And then we'll run him back and get him on the river, which is perfect. Because I think our location probably is going to be either on river right here, or just off river over here. Or it could be up here on this river. This river actually might be advantageous. We might put it right here because we've got food and some really nice access to a few things. A really nice potential market quarter spot over here. I think we want to put down our outpost over here more than likely. And our cost for outposts, right, it was 120 in the Neolithic. Let's see. Well, this is where some math comes in, right? It was 120 in the Neolithic era. Only 89 because we are connected to our city. So there you go. But let's go up here then. These guys can't. They've already done their stuff. Let's go to these guys. These guys. So cost did increase, right? So 139 away from our capital buildings, right? So that's always worth noting, right? Is that we've got increased cost, not by much, but we do have an increased cost now because we're not in the Neolithic era anymore, which is why making claims in the Neolithic up to 3 at least, I think makes a lot of sense. When you get to 4, you can see that 120 to 139, not a huge deal. Plus, if we get some of our early civics, which we'll probably see pop up on the next turn or two, then we'll end up kind of in the space that we want to be in, right? Okay, let's just go through and move all of our units individually. This guy is going to go up and explore north again, I think. Just head him in that direction. Keep our eye out for any curiosities.
So, do you view each other as friend or foe?
Oh, is that our first formal meeting?
It's time to unravel the diplomat's dilemma.
That is our first oh, we just backed off, unfortunately. So that is our first formal meeting because we hadn't moved up yet. So we could also take a look at this.
Greetings. I'm a good neighbor and a loyal friend. As long as you don't cross me.
I don't know if you've seen any of my previous games, but Plosif's AI and me don't typically get along, so apparently we cross each other quite a bit. So let's try to start off on the right foot at least, right? Like maybe we do like a trade luxuries, see if there's any luxuries.
We would all benefit from growing closer, don't you think?
You don't have any luxuries currently.
Yes, very good. This I like.
But neither do I, so that's fine.
I can only say that...
All right. So we've started off with at least a positive treaty, which I don't mind. These two, we probably just want to start exploring, right? But I feel like we want to keep someone down here, and again, we want to get this claim in too. So let's head to a claim spot in here. I'm going to move in here, and we're going to actually find our claim spot, I think. Perfect, there's a curiosity. I'm thinking... I was either thinking about going up here. That's a 6-5. This is a 9-3. Or 7, but we're right next to a bunch of... Well, that could get us... That could escape us out from the spot real nice. This 9-3 seems like it might be an intriguing spot. I think that's going to be the most food we're going to get out of this particular place. And it gives us the ability to build out more in this direction, possibly put a Danu in over here somewhere on this land, and then surround it with some food quarters, which I think would be perfect. So I think we want to go here, and then we go with a farmer's quarter adjacent over here, and then a Danu next to that, and then farmer's quarters kind of around that to get the bonuses there. I think that's probably our spot, just from a food standpoint. You can also go with the 4-7, but again, it kind of traps us up here with those. But I don't know, you just put those in, I guess. I think this is the next thing we want to do, so I'm just gonna... I'll have them pick this up, and then we'll get them to that spot over there, and probably get that claim done as we are going. These two... Probably. We got 2 groups up there. This group can also go that way, so... Oh, man, we got a lot of units just kind of hanging out. I think we'll send these 2 guys down south again. Oh! I think we'll send these 2 guys down south again. Just again, these are unclaimed territories, so if we can find curiosities, that's what we want to do. And these guys can continue going north. We won't go into that territory, though. scoot our way over in this direction. There's a couple big claims right in this vicinity, so we got to kind of be aware of what Plosif is doing. We're going to go grab that on the next turn. And we're about to end our first turn in the Ancient Era, which took forever, but that's classic Madishmoose gameplay. We can now create our religion. We can pick the base of our people's beliefs. We get to do that right away because we had so many people living in our empire right at the start. Sometimes you wouldn't proc this for a little bit until you get your population up. I think you have to be at 20 or something like that total. Polytheism is +6 faith on main plaza. Shamanism is +2 faith on main plaza and administrative center. So the math here works out to essentially, right, shamanism is going to benefit you when you get lots of attachments in. Polytheism is going to benefit you in the immediacy, right? So we would get 6 faith on our main plaza, which it's all we have, right? Otherwise, if we took shamanism right now, we would only get +2 faith because we just have the main plaza. You have to have cities that have 4 attachments, three total attachments, right? So 4 territories in them to make shamanism worthwhile. And even then, it's only worthwhile after you get that attachment made, because then you're getting, right, +8, because you get +2 on your main plaza, and then on your 3 attachments, you'd be getting +2 on each of your administrative centers. So it takes 4 territories in a city to make shamanism pass polytheism. But the problem is you're not going to get there for a while. So shamanism is a very slow growth kind of choice here. So if you want to grow your religion slowly and towards the end, which I don't think is a great play in Humankind, you can pick shamanism. And again, if you're thinking you're going to do like massive big cities with a lot of attachments, shamanism's your play. If you want to keep your cities relatively small, then polytheism is going to work. And I honestly think that polytheism, because it gets your faith moving faster, is usually the play here. Again, I think that religion needs a rework in this game because it's just not valuable enough outside of the first couple eras, which is why polytheism, I think, is always the choice here. So we're just going to go with polytheism. That'll kickstart our religion. We now have 6 faith being produced out of our capital, which again, would have been 2, right? Because we're not making like an instant attachment to get to 4, it's really difficult to justify a shamanism choice unless you're going to try to push for something really late, which is viable. Like you could do that. Okay. We have established relationships with Plosif. We are off and away in our era. We've got different things we want to pick up. I think we can run our move, and then we'll. Oh, let's check wonders and how much they're going to cost us, because there are some very potent wonders in this particular era. What will it cost for us to get a wonder? 250. Is the influence cost for that. And this is where it gets real tricky in the game of Humankind early game, because you want to grab some of these. Pyramids of Giza is really fantastic, like really fantastic. We also have Temple of Artemis, which gets you some really nice bonuses to ranged combat, which we used in our last Let's Play series quite a bit. Stonehenge is it used to be better probably. You could get a lot of food from Stonehenge though. Hanging Gardens is also interesting because you extract a luxury from a resource, and you get its bonus, its wondrous bonus, right away, which is again pretty potent. So any of those 3, Temple of Artemis, if we're going to war, but Giza and Gardens are really good. And then Stable of Pyramses could actually possibly be good for us. We're playing the Assyrians. We've got our Assyrian raiders. We could definitely use that minus 25% cost and upkeep on mounted units. And another movement speed. I mean, we could be flying if we go with stables as well. So a lot of good wonders possibly in this era as well to think about. I think we're going to be spending our influence on other things based on kind of what we've got going on. All right, let's rock and roll. All right, embassy is available, so we can now build our embassies. We have to think about when we do that. We have a successful ransack. We can get our people moving towards their different locations. There's the calendar research. So we didn't get it till this turn, so that works out for us. We weren't going to be able to unlock any free in our capital anyway, right? We would have had 1 that we could put in. So there goes that. We picked up 2 science curiosities, which is beautiful. A 15 science, 10 influence curiosity, and 10-8. Those are big numbers. Again, curiosities will drive your empire early game, which is definitely something you want. All right, let's do our urgent affairs first and our events. We have 2 civics, which is exactly what we wanted to see. These civics are ones that I like to enact right away. We don't need to push faith super hard. In fact, we want to go towards science, increase our science as fast as we can to get to where we need to go. And it increases our influence as well. Influence generation early game, huge in Humankind. This is worth a quick enact right away. Yes, it costs us 20 influence that we can't spend right now, but we're going to get that back over the course of just 4 turns. We're going to make that back. And then, so in 4 turns, we'll have made it back, and then we'll be getting that constant +5 on main plaza. So that's going to extrapolate off to additional main plazas once we get a second city in, which we'll want to do relatively quickly.
Why was
So
this
we'll enact
even
that.
a question? Let's keep it simple.
And
We've been here.
we also...
It's our place.
Mr. Narrator, thank you. We also want to enact legitimacy right away. Customary laws is where we want to go. It's kind of funny to do both of these because it actually, you go plus science, then you go right back to the middle again. It's fine. We'll deal with that. But customary laws get you minus 50% on create outpost costs. This is huge. If you don't enact this, you're spending way too much influence to do any of the stuff you're trying to do. So before we put down any outposts in this era, we always want to do this. And this is where, when you start to think about the Neolithic era versus the ancient era, you start to have conversations in your head about, well, if I can get customary laws down and get minus 50% on outpost creation cost, is it worth it to put down outposts in the Neolithic? I still think up to 3 outposts, it's worth it. You could probably make an argument for 2. One of the reasons I didn't put down a 4th was thinking about the possibility of getting this minus 50 makes it pretty valuable to wait until for that 4th one until you get this enacted, even though the cost does go up. But we saw that it goes up kind of non-significantly for this particular, at the 4th outpost for the Neolithic to the ancient. So we'll go ahead and enact this right away. Again, cost 25 right away, but minus 50% on outpost cost is automatically gonna, that basically we've already, by putting 1 outpost down, we're pretty much gonna make that back because of the 50% reduction, and it allows you to expand much, much faster than otherwise. Now, later in the game, when we're making a lot of attachments, we'll probably want to make a switch over to codified laws, but right now, it's not something we're worried about. The first attachments are so cheap to make on a city that this is going to do nothing. Once you get to like the 3rd, 4th, 5th attachments, you definitely want this in because it gets very expensive. But the first attachments, we don't need that minus 20%. So we'll enact customary
That
laws.
seems to leave a lot of interpretation of right and wrong.
Also,
Not
one
to
of the
mention
reasons.
yours and mine.
Also, one of the reasons why you might want to have a little bit of influence saved up when you go into the ancient era is that for that reason specifically as well. All right, I want to pay attention to our look here. Honestly, we probably could have disbanded one more guy into here because we could have disbanded into the food slot and then been growing just as fast effectively or just a little slower maybe, but hindsight, of course, is 2020. We also have our holy site we could get in and our embassy, so we want to think about that as we kind of move along. I still think that our first play is probably going to be to get a farmer's quarter in, although it's going to be worth, 2 food, 4 turns. But again, 2 food, 4 turns is going to help us immensely. So we're going to go after this potting workshop. We'll still go farmer's quarter. Granary won't be worth it probably until we can build it a little faster. Its production cost is simply too high currently. And we probably want to get our artisan's quarter in as well at some point in the near future. Okay, we got units everywhere. All of our turns are going to start taking quite a long time because we just have units literally just across the map. I want to know what's up here. And technically, we have another unit coming up down here where we can get some exploration done. So let's go north maybe with these guys.
Yes.
Stay on river for a second. Looking for curiosities as well. So this is just a grove. It's beautiful. Oh, it's got huge trees. That's so cool. This game is lovely. Let's go into the huge trees just because we can. Lots of, big grassland. Grassland with a lot of food up here in the north, so that's very interesting. This continent is huge. How have we not met someone else at this point?
It's one of those moments that make you feel like a small thing on a wondrous planet.
Beauty. There is 30 science for discovering Halong Bay, and Halong Bay is, I don't think, my favorite wonder. Let's double check what Halong Bay says. +1 food on tiles, it's no different than any other coastal tile. +10 stability, pretty standard on most of those. And then +1 combat strength on naval unit and vision on districts is also there as well. So not a hugely powerful wonder. Might help our navy as we go through kind of those eras. So I'm not opposed to having this. So again, there's a nice claim up in here. And then there's horses and things that we might want access to. So I get look at this, more desolate land across our empire. There's a lot of spots that that could be useful if you picked certain cultures. Interesting. All right, these guys got this burn down. We literally have units just everywhere at this point. So we honestly probably could put some of them on auto explore. That probably is what I should do, just because they'll just kind of walk around and look for curiosities for me. I might do that with a couple of our units. Here's these guys that can grab this. Some more gold for us. And then I guess we're should head up towards Plosiv's territory. Just get a look at what's happening up there. There's the edge of his land currently. I think we probably want to keep our exploration going. This looks like a nice little spot to enter and kind of see what's happening in this direction. So let's
Greetings to the Nubians.
Ah!
Now there's some good fortune. A neighbor who may be more interested in commerce than conflict.
That sounds great. Okay, so 2 neighbors now, and 2 in this direction, eh? Okay, so there is Burley, and there is, so we got, there's 3, so that could be all that's on this continent. Still thinking there's probably a 4th over here. It's a lot of land for just us 3, and then Burley's kind of stuck up in this corner here. I mean, I'm assuming that this stops. I don't know what continent shape, but I would assume that this continent's got to stop at some point, and we got coast here, so unless it's got a really weird shape, which is possible because we did have that on chaotic going in that direction. Okay, so I think we're going to put this down now. We want to get at least this claim in and get our horses online. I think to have the possibility of building our raiders, and we want to get a connect into our capital as quickly as we can to make it a bit better. It's going to give it 9 food right away, which is going to be great. So let's go ahead and put this down. It's an 8-turn placement, so we want to get it down as quickly as possible. Only costing us 45 influence, so pretty quick and easy placement for us. That's what we want to do. And then we want to take a look. In 1 turn, we'll be able to see how much influence we need to put in a second city. I might even save up for that almost right away, because getting a second city down is very potent as far as just having builds going early. So I want to get that second city in pretty quickly. We'll have to be careful about claims coming in, because obviously we have 2 neighbors right here. They're going to be fighting for space, and so we want to make sure we claim all of our resource-based places. We don't want to lose any of those critical resources. So we probably want to set our border based on our resource, allocation. We could push up here for the copper, but I'm not keen on that. So I think we're going to be we grabbed this already. We want to make sure we come down here, grab all of these, and then probably get started over here, because this looks very nice to have. If we can grab something up in here and then get a city up there. So we probably want to start thinking about that as well. So second city here. Probably claim, we're probably going to claim this first, to be honest, because it's got some really nice resources in it. Would push our science. Claim this and maybe this. That way we could maybe, I'm trying to figure out how we could get like a cheap claim up here, but I don't think we can. I think we're just have to claim something up here and then just build off of it. So it's going to be like an expensive initial territory claim, but probably what's going to happen. These guys are just searching for curiosities as well. Any of our groups that are just curiosity hunting, we honestly probably should just have them on auto explore at this point, but I get a little bit obsessive over like knowing where my units are going. All right, we also want to be putting this outpost down relatively quickly too. So that's potent. 715. I think the 715 is our go. So let's jump there. Probably want to get that down relatively quickly, because if we can get this ebony online and this coffee online, that's actually huge for our empire. Because you're talking about 2 of the best bonuses in the game. +2 industry on administrative center. Well, +3 for the initial one, plus the stability. And then the coffee is your +2 food per farmers, which again, hugely beneficial. So I think we probably want to get both of those in right away, as soon as we can, right? So I think we want to put this claim in very next time we get this claim down. Unless we make a decision on the city that maybe changes our mind. We have our calendar researched. Now, writing gets you fame, so that's always something to think about, right? There is a bonus to getting writing in. You also could potentially get your civics decreased in cost. You get access to your market quarter if you want. The House of Scribes will get you a lot of good things. But I don't like to pull for it necessarily right away, especially if we're thinking we're the Assyrians, probably maybe go to war. We can 0-turn domestication right now, so we have enough extra science we have collected from our curiosities that we can actually 0-turn domestication. So I think this is the direction we're going to go. We'll go ahead and 0-turn that so we can buy in our horses as soon as that comes in. We also have access to our Assyrian raiders and our animal barns. Now, technically, we probably could have waited on that because we can't actually use it right now. But we can't actually use anything currently. So I think what we'll go to now is let's get carpentry in so we have access to archers. That's always an important thing from a war standpoint. I'm not going to push deep into the tree. I'm seeing a lot of value right here in potential building a couple of armies, which I want to have comboed Assyrian raiders, probably like 2 Assyrian raiders, a warrior, and an archer is like my what I'm looking at possibly for like optimal army stuff. How are we going to get the population for that, you might ask? Probably by disbanding. We'll probably jump more units into the capital, disband additional units, and then be just training them. So we'll put the population into the city and then train them back out as a new unit, essentially. So that's probably what our operating procedure is going to be for that. Let's meet Burley.
Greetings,
Since we did meet. Burley has salt. So I would love...
We would all benefit from growing closer.
Trade with Burley.
Don't you
And
think?
let's see how expensive this is going to be to grab some salt, because that's a bunch of food. Now, we're losing money per turn, which is not awesome.
Excellent.
And this is going to
This
cost
will be
us
remembered.
only 22 gold per turn. I mean, that's big right now. We have the gold to buy all of these, and I think I'm going to do it. This is going to put us in a hole money-wise.
It is an honor to meet one of whom I have heard such praise.
Thank you, Burley. Maybe Burley and I could be friends, and then we could fight against Plosive together, possibly. Burley's got some warriors out already, so there might be some tension maybe between Burley and Plosive brewing already. There's a damaged unit down here, so I'm wondering if there's already been some skirmishes between the two of them, possibly. So we are now trading for food, and our food, you can see, is now completely off the charts because we're trading for that salt. That's really handy for us. Now, we're going to have to make sure we recover our money. Probably means we need to disband a few units. Because this claim kind of takes up this part of the land. Once this guy puts this claim in, I think we can disband him into our city. So I think we'll do that. So he's going to put his claim in next turn. Then we'll come in and disband him. So we'll start to decrease our unit cost at least. Our cost per unit. And then once this city starts running into population problems, that's when we'll start training out an army. Sur has gained in population. We like that. And we have an event, or a civic at least, Blades of the Empire. So this is the one where we can get minus 30 on unit industry cost or the +1 strength. I'm not apt to put this in right away. I'd rather use our influence for other things. But if we start building an army, could be very useful. Or if we start fighting, also could be very useful. This is another one where flip-flopping between the two can be really helpful sometimes. But I'm not going to enact it right away because I think we have other things to do with our influence right now. I think we just want to put this down right away, right? We want to get this in. I think we want to get this in as quickly as possible to get the coffee and the ebony online. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, wait, let's check. Let's check real quick before we do that. The cost of it is what? Cost is 53, so the cost is going up. That is extensively expensive. And to get a second city, we need 160. So maybe we put one more outpost down with that 53 just to get that online, and then we stop with our outpost claims for a brief moment, get up to the 160, although we can get to 160 pretty quick from here right now, but I think we want the benefit of having those resources in. Plus, we're going to want to spend some influence on some other claims and things here. Oh, in fact, we could get a resource in right now. We get a papyrus in, right? Right away. So I think we're going to spend first, and then we'll save for the city. I think that's will be our current goal. We'll obviously want to buy in the Danube before we make any attachments or anything like that too. So I think we're going to be spending a bit before we're going to be saving. So I think we'll put this in. Put this in. We're going to need to buy in our influence. We need to buy in stuff here as well. And then we're saved for that second city. I want that second city as quickly as I can. This is going to come in 2 turns. So probably what we do is this one is not as valuable as this one. So I think what we'll do is probably assure we'll attach this territory. We'll leave this one unattached for a little bit. We'll attach this, and then we'll be able to get in, we'll get in these first. So after we attach this for the benefits to the city, right? Because it's going to have some really nice resource yields on it. And then we'll buy in these. Well, actually, we're going to buy in these first, right? So we're going to need to save up a little bit. Yeah, right. It's all making sense in my head. When it happens, I probably shouldn't overplan. When it happens, it will happen. Share maps. Oh,
interesting.
Do we want share maps?
We will reflect upon it.
Do we counter for 40 gold? I don't need to share my map. I mean, it would be nice to see what they have, but I got enough units that I can explore it myself. I'm gonna counter.
Friend, your name travels well.
We just got 40 gold out of that? I honestly, so rarely does the AI actually accept counters that I'm like legitimately surprised at that. Fascinating. Joey, we got share maps because he paid us the gold. So now we can see his land. Okay. He's got horses. Oh, it's not very, it's lush. So it's very nice land as far as he's got a lot more food than I do. A lot of green grass and then some. So there's a lot of land up here. Sorry, yeah, Plosiv's made, what, one claim? Or is this all one territory? Is that one territory? Or is there a break somewhere? Yeah, there's a break somewhere. Right here. Okay, so he has claimed an extra spot up there. And down here, actually, it looks like. So we got Administrative Center here, Administrative Center here. So we've got 2 attachments on his capital already. And he's pushing down towards me. But he's got land to explore, too. Hopefully he doesn't push down this way. Although I wouldn't be surprised because it's the AI if they did. Burley, it looks like there's coast here and coast here. Which means Burley's in the top corner of this continent and is going to be pushing out in this direction. Conveniently, I don't think we need anything else over here, at least not currently, because we've got some really lush land in this direction. So I think we're doing well there. Although we have explored quite a bit of it now. Nice. A couple more exploration pieces. And it looks like we have share maps, but that doesn't mean I can see where his units are, right? So somewhere in here, Plosiv has a unit that's already explored in this direction, right? Okay. We'll just keep pushing north then, since we can't see this way yet. So let's go this direction, and then let's get on river. These guys are going to push coast, so I guess we could go unlock this area with these guys. Just to see what is in this fog right here. This guy can push into this fog up here. He's got it all alone, so we're just going to use this guy for a little bit to explore, and then we'll probably bring him back, and then maybe even disband him, possibly. But this guy can also start heading in a northerly direction. Just try to explore. I don't know what's there, which kind of obnoxious. Maybe if we went this way, we'd be able to see that. Can you see that over there? No, because it goes up too high. Oh, we should probably send that guy along the coast, to be honest, for better exploration. These guys are smack dab in the middle of the map. They're a nice group of 3, just in case we run into like a Free Peoples or something. They're really just kind of looking for curiosities, so I think we'll push up into this, stay on river, kind of walk up and down the river, basically, looking for any curiosity spawns that happen, like in this area. These guys have put down their outpost, and let's see, are they... This guy has fought. This guy has not. So we could go disband this guy into our city. That's 2 potential disbands. Because we can always group these guys into 3s or 4s even at this point, because we're not collecting curiosities with them and just have them kind of meandering around. I like groups of 2s at least, in case you run into bears, then you can fight them off. But even if you run into a Free Peoples, like an aggressive Free Peoples, a group of 4 scouts is not going to win against the baseline. So groups of 4, maybe, because you could possibly try to fend it off, but most of the time that's even going to be a loss for you. So that's why like groups of 2 or 3 probably are going to get done. Good exploration. We could disband this guy right now, but what's that going to do to our city? We could definitely do it. We could definitely do it. So we could disband this guy immediately into our capital. He is in the capital, right? Yeah. So let's disband him. There we go. That gets us more pop, and it gets us more this. We're also growing at 18 food still, so that's fine. Get that pottery workshop in, and then we'll get the farmer's quarter down relatively quickly. The granary is now down to 7 turns as well on 4 food, so that's not bad at all. Man, granary is going to be tempting. I think I want to get at least 1 farmer's quarter out there, but granary is going to be very tempting to just get down right away. All right, we'll send these guys, I guess, just all the way down here, right? Hey, they went for a reason. There we go. We'll have him, like, pop up in here somewhere. We're good. Let's see. Can we get through one more turn? I feel like we should probably try to get through one more turn in this episode. Let's rock and roll to the tune of one more turn. There is access to our archers, so we can start formulating some level of army if we so choose. Also have access to the human engine, which lets us know whether we want bonuses on garrisons or bonuses on commons quarters, which actually gets us good things regardless. Normally, I would be putting in war slaves. In fact, our Danu counts as a garrison and a commons quarter, but I think I want to push in this direction, get access to more food. We have commons quarters down already, right? So I think we want to do this, but I don't think we want to do it right now. Our value isn't quite there. We have 1 common squatter down, so we'd be spending 35 influence to get +1 food, +1 industry. It's just not that valuable right now. Once we have, like, influence to spare, I think we might want to do this, but right now I think we need to keep our influence. So we won't put that in yet, although I do think that it is going to be valuable for us. Either of those would be good at this point because we're playing the Assyrians, and the Danu is both a garrison and a common squatter. Most of the time, you're going to be probably going for the garrison one on that, usually speaking. We could get access to harbors, which could be very useful, especially if we're claiming around the outside, which we currently are. I think warriors are probably the direction we want to go. 3 turns to warriors, and then we could pick like a higher level tech. I think we want a quick access to the warrior to be able to train the armies that we might want as we start rolling. So let's do that. These guys are collecting resources. Just fire them right back up into this part of the map. These guys are following the river north, so I think we'll just keep doing that. We'll go a little slower maybe this time, just to make sure we don't miss anything. And I think we'll hop off river here. Oh man, look at this land. Oh my goodness. Beautiful grassland with a ton of food in it. That stuff, we don't have that, right? Should we split these guys and grab these on the same turn? I feel like we should. I think we can grab these both. Do a quick little split. Grab that and grab this. I don't think we could have done that on the same turn. Got both of those, and then we'll just combine them back together. Oh, we could have. We actually could have made it all the way back up. This guy's going to go bust up this fog. This guy is headed to this river, I think is where we want to put him. Let's do this. Jump him on river. There are... Oh, 2 deer together. Oh, that's cool. They've updated some of their pictures as well. I like that. I like the little tweaks like that are nice. Send this guy down. Oh, nice. Sanctuary burn for 43 gold. That helps us because we're currently at minus 28 gold. We can fix our gold problem probably by putting this in, our 2% money gain. So probably want to get that in at some point in the near future. Could we buy that in by any chance? No, not quite. We can 3 turn it in, but I think we want to 2 turn in this farmer's quarter to get us started. We want to push... I think we want to push in this direction, but yeah, this gets us access to more food going that way. Why does that get us access to more food going that direction? Oh, because it gets us this food. As much as I want to push out towards the Danu, I think we put it here, and then we can industry quarter here, and that will move us out towards maybe another industry quarter here to get around there. So I think that's what we're going to do. We'll go ahead and go down here. That will work for me. We'll get at least the farmer's quarter in, and then we might jump back. Might jump back after that to putting in our gold, because we need to fix our money problem. Use our movement points, try to collect something. Some of those guys will get disbanded into our second city when we get to that point, right? So, want to pay attention to that. Is this in yet? 1 turn on that before we want to... That's going to be a major spend, right? It's going to be like, I don't know, probably to put in the Danu and then both of these. That's going to be pretty expensive. Or could have gone over here, maybe. Maybe we should have gone over there. We'll swing around, maybe, get on the river. And our final unit, which we were going to disband this guy, right? This was another potential disband. We want to make sure we keep some units close to home, because we do have claims that we want to make. Like, this claim has more gold in it, so we do want claims. But we got guys right here. I think we disband this guy as well. We got 18 food. We could disband and start collecting a little bit extra science. Not opposed to that. So let's just... That way he's actually being useful for us. That puts our city in some food trouble. But again, we're building... we're close to food trouble. But we're building a farmer's quarter to basically to enhance that. He'll move over from science into food once we do that. But right now we'll push science a little bit as well. So that actually works quite nicely for me. Although, could switch him to... What does it do to our empire if I switch him to gold? We're at minus 27. Minus 21. Does help our gold situation, so we have some gold with which to be able to build, but I feel like pushing science it's arguably more important. What's that? With 2 turns. Oh man, actually doesn't impact our science. I'm gonna leave him on science. Okay, that will do it for this episode. I know we didn't get through very many turns. In fact, we only did like 4 turns or something like that. Crazy, but early game is important. We got a lot of claims in. We got a bunch of stuff going down. Hopefully I can continue to play a little quicker, but look at all the exploration we got. Bunch of stuff done. Moved up to the Assyrians. We have our Danu down already. That will do it for this episode. Episode 2 of our commonly uncommon Let's Play series here in Humankind. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Appreciate you watching. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you've got notifications turned on. find out Sundays when we release these videos. You'll get notified about that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.